G'day legends, I hope that you're all doing really well. Now today there won't be a Ukraine update. This will be an update for my fitness journey that I've been going on for the last couple of months. And I've talked in length about how I really went downhill with my health and fitness following my diagnosis and subsequent then chemotherapy and things like this. But I've just felt really flat the last couple of days. I think there's a mixture of jet lag returning from a trip and also like the massive change in weather. You're going from 38 degree Texan summer to Australian winter. Well, that's not that cold here. It's still like, 25 degree difference in temperature, and that's got me a bit. But I think there's also this bit that gets me of so much of my work is working in this space of war or in Ukraine. So much of it has this feeling of guilt to me of that I make money off something so horrible, and that's my job. Now, that's how I put food on the table, but at the end of the day, I live in an incredibly lucky country in relative safety, and so much of what I talk about is just the most horrible stuff ever. So today I just couldn't do it. I just didn't feel like doing it at all, and I've just been a little bit flat all day, to be honest. I think I slept too well last night. I'm out running and this is just a fucking struggle. It's like every step has just been shit house. Oh, that happens. It's still humid as fuck, and I think it might rain. I hope it rains to cool it off. Oh, working hard. Just out jogging away. It's been a good couple of days because I had a massive gym session. Smoked my legs, shockingly. But as I was walking out the door to come, my American hosts were like, be careful, there's a heat advisory. I'm like, the hell is that? And they're like, they're telling everyone to stay indoors because it's like a heat wave. And I'm like, go, it's 38 degrees, which is, I don't know, like 107 or something. I'll put on the screen. And I'm like, I'm just tapping the old Australian heritage. Like, that's not that hot, but it is more muggy here than at least where I live in Australia. But glad to put some more K's down. And it's like, the heat only sucks when you're not moving. Once you start, you're good. I spoke too soon. It's hot and I'm sweaty. I'm sweaty as fuck. It's fucking hot. This is getting fucking hard. But I think I've had like the David Goggins effect. Don't listen to any of his podcasts. Fuck. I really miss this. And you can't get this unless you have a degree of running fitness. When you sort of go through that stage of like shitty pain, and then you're just sort of in like a meditative state. And I've never meditated. I don't even know how to meditate. Maybe I should. Maybe it's good for me. But you're almost getting that like monkey brain just plodding along, no worry, or like it's not there's no worries in your world, but it's almost like everything seems fixable. Like, it's stressed, if that makes sense. You're sort of solving your little world's problems in your brain while you're running. But you can probably see it on me, the sweat. Like, it is, it is proper warm out here. But I walked, for about 50 minutes on the phone to Lily, my partner, because she's finishing up her studies at second degree and there's applying for jobs, and that's really, really exciting. A little bit nerve-wracking for her, but they're sort of deciding on things following me. Where to go, what do we do, whatever. And I was on the phone for her, and then I started running. I did not feel like starting bloody running. But I started running, and actually now I feel bloody good. It's always like the times you feel the worst is when you sometimes run the bloody best. But things like that are always difficult for me, like thinking in the future, because whether it's monetary thing, mortgages, cars, I don't know, whatever financial woes, and then planning long term because of my health. I'm like, is it worth me getting a mortgage and this and that and whatever? It's difficult, but hustle with my health, and I'm incredibly fortunate where I was born, the family I was in, where everything, like I'm so fortunate. Even if, there's something like this tumour is a shocking thing, I'll never take that away, but I'm bloody fortunate that the opportunities I've had passed to me already. So yeah, but I struggle with long-term planning a little bit. That's my rant done. Alright, I'm going to keep running and sweating this one out. I'm struggling to talk. Alright. And I'm so glad to be back home, back in Australia. But there's this thing that I almost get because I travel so much. I don't really get settled in, and it's becoming more and more like I don't really feel that at home, if that makes sense. And I don't really have like that one place. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I'm in and out so much I don't really settle in. But then I'm away somewhere, I'm like, oh no, I don't really feel that happy here. And then I'm home and I'm like, oh, I'm not really that satisfied and happy here. So I'm sort of in between, and I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky with everything. But I'm like, shit, I work so much, I don't like have a hobby. And I've become too caught up with social media stuff as well, and like trying to make it there somewhat on just something that doesn't matter. That's what always hard when you have a hobby like YouTube was for me that then becomes your job. It can take away from that. It's like why you never move into a house with your best mate for a walk. Sit down. Sit down. You want to go for a walk? Yeah. I am getting dragged through this run by Bears. I think I'm picking up the pace by maybe 80%. He's just dragging. He runs with Lily's mum, who's like a legitimate marathon runner. So I think he's used to quite a faster pace. I've also really been struggling with my voice, and it's impacting more than just on here. One, it's very, very painful, but then as well as impacting even some personal social stuff as well, where, I've actually found I've never really been that shy, although I'm a lot more shy than I think people would maybe think if you just see me on YouTube. But even like ordering on cafes or talking to even like the air hostesses and stuff, I was just like, oh fuck, like I didn't want to speak because I can barely bloody talk, and it gets better and worse to the day, but it's really impacting some of that as well. Now, how's my fitness stuff going? My running has got a lot better. I feel really terrible, but I think that will overcome in the next couple of days once I settle back into my regular diet, my regular routine. We've just got to the beach, but I think we're going to get rained on. It's not looking awful promising, and we're a little bit from home. Although it's winter in Australia, and Bez is obsessed with the ball that I've got in my pocket. I'm so glad to be home. But it is bloody cold, but I don't know, I'm just really glad to be back in Australia. It feels good, it feels homely, and I struggle to get that anywhere. It doesn't matter where in the world I go, no matter how beautiful it is, it never feels like home. But there's one ball, this one, that is like cracked, Bears, look. But we are getting rained on, just a little bit, but we'll be right, won't we, mate? Sit down. Do you want this? I don't know if it's just me that feels like this, but hey, Ben. I almost feel like America is very superficial. Like it's that true new big house, McMansion, white picket fence, white teeth, like surface born superficial stuff that. At least somewhere I experience. If it was all new, it's all this. And along with that, I feel like it's almost sickeningly money driven. Like Australia's a capitalist country, and I'm a capitalist just by nature. But I feel like America's like next level. At least my experience, that it's so capitalist. It's like, whoa, like some people need a bit of a break. Like, yeah, I find that very quickly with people's attitudes towards money, and how like that is of utmost importance above everything, above other people's well-being, above even your own well-being. That's that true fight to the top attitude and leave everyone else behind. And you even see that with like the bottled culture and tip cultures and things like this. It's just, you weeing or doing a poo? Also, it's glaringly obvious that America is in a time of absolute divide, and unsure if it's more or less than normal, but I'd say more than normal. Political divide, mainly of your left and right wing, your Trump v Biden v DeSantis v RFK, and there's so much of that divide, and we have it here too, that it's like no one can see eye to eye on anything, and it just pushes more and more people further and further apart, rather than just where it actually is. And one's rooted in freedom. Sorry, what I mean is both are rooted in freedoms, but what people say that the values of freedoms are is significantly different. So one side will say guns and money, and the other will say healthcare and education, and both are correct in freedoms. And to many degrees, people will say that the freedom talked about in America is an illusion, that it's not one of the freest countries on earth, because if you break your arm, you'll need to get a mortgage. And it really depends where you put your freedoms. But I think both sides are fighting for the same thing, being freedom. But how they get there is a very different beast, and what it looks like when you're there looks even further different. You right, mate? Drink some salt water. Nah. But I sort of feel like I'm in between things, but I don't know what the next thing is going to be. But Legends of this one's a bit all over the place with stuff, but thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time, you guys being here. Look after yourselves. Thank you.